the glass. Our companies, my company, they don't work after hours. So it won't be no problem for me to do this. I want to establish too how you guys going to support the business that they get hurt by your project. Okay.
How about you close too late, right?
For the bus alone. So basically, 4 condensed into 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
too late. So that our business like when it had international, and we just depend on the traffic. This last car.
The flowing.
And this is why nobody can drive. Nobody want to drive the international anymore.
Yeah.
Because so traffic. It's only too late. We now our became sorry have been since 1988, 27 years already, 24 to 6 years ago.
I'm
We have
35 years.
the good business. We make a last job in there. I mean, the job opportunity, and we make money before. But after that, we lose a lot. Maybe.
Just to clarify something, what is the Fruitvale bypass?
What is it?
Yeah, you had it up on the screen.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Well,
He wants to know what the Fruitvale bypass is. Can anybody from AC Transit explain the Fruitvale bypass?
The Fruitvale Bypass project is just a reconfiguration of the intersection at Fruitvale and San Leandro Street to accommodate the traffic modeling with regards to traffic flow through that intersection.
so you're going around, you're going down San Leandro or bypassing Fruitvale?
It's just the name that we gave to that project.
Nobody on
But the
the
project is just to reconfigure the intersection.
Yeah, I know.
To create left turn lane and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's all.
Actually, it's not a lot of people take the bus. Trust me. No,
I'm sorry?
it's not a lot of people take the bus.
So basically, most of
It's waste time, waste money. Absolutely.
So in their opinion, most of the local business here are surviving because the people, automobile industry, and people driving to the area. So when you create the traffic like that, for sure, this entire neighborhood will be changed.
Yes, dead already. The
Some
whole
businesses will be
area
shut
dead.
down completely.
No business.
And so my question for you, Councilwoman, and for you, AC Transit, what do you do about those
Stop it.
businesses that you cannot mitigate the problem?
You have to stop
their
it.
concern and their problem, rewording that. This is real concern, and yet there hasn't been any answer, concrete answers on what you can do about that.
Could we first hear from AC Transit?
Okay, I just want to make sure.
We're going to get back on the agenda.
Well, let me start by, I think that, there is, our goal, and I'll, say it again, our goal is to work with the businesses to identify potential mitigations. That's not going to change, and that's what we are here to do. I think we've had 2 community meetings, we've had 3. 2 of them, I recognize yourself at both of them. So we are certainly, we are hearing your concerns, and so this effort is really designed to identify mitigation. So it would not be beneficial to the goal of identifying mitigations to at this point decide that there aren't mitigations that could potentially help businesses. We believe that there are. We believe in working with the city as partners, with community-based organizations, whether it's BASI, whether it's OSNI, Unity Council, and other businesses involved in that process. We can identify some very significant mitigations that can help businesses sustain themselves through the construction process for the project. So I'm hopeful that in those efforts we will come up with mitigations for a significant number of the businesses along the corridor. And that's what we're trying to achieve. So as we have these conversations, we want to make sure, again, we want to hear from the businesses. When we come to these meetings, What do they identify as mitigations? What would they like to see? We show some on the screen. So this is an ongoing process. We're not done with this process. The process is not complete, and we will continue to do more to bring more information to the table to help with that issue.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt this. And as I promised from the beginning of the meeting that I would not let people dancing around no question. And so that's exactly what you're doing, sir. I'm sorry, our concern are not addressed. This is already, as I understand, you're already 65% completion for the design. And I understand if at some point, if you go too far, then we can suggest all we want, but it's not going to change.
Right, so-
That's what we are concerned and we worry. That's why we're recording the conversation today, and we want to make sure that your promise would translate into action, and that's
So as we said earlier, the 65% design for the major construction is not complete. That is scheduled to go before the council in a number of months. So we are
Thank you.
here to get information to inform that plan so that your perspectives are included in that discussion and development of the plan.
You have to understand, for our business people on 14th Street, one of the business is that takes everything. And this is basically a top-down decision. I mean, the community didn't ask for this. This is being proposed. And I don't see the benefit from the via our community. It could benefit Oakland, it could benefit AC, but I don't see what's the benefit.
So let me just come back to our agenda. So the answer to the question, what will you do when you can't accommodate the needs of a specific business? AC Transit doesn't have a plan for that at this point.
Our plan is to identify mitigations to address the concerns of the impacted businesses.
Right, and when you
And so-
can't do that, then you don't have.
Well, but you're presuming that that's the answer.
Right,
But I,
if you can.
well, I mean, I can't really. It would be.
It's okay.
Well, let me just say that our goal is to identify the mitigations. So
Sure.
at this point, you suggest that if we can't, then what will we do? It would be preemptive.
Okay.
To do that at this point.
Okay, let me just, so we know everyone process-wise in the room, that well, the two people who actually work for AC, there's three people in the room that actually work for AC Transit, right? Okay, just to make sure we know, because Terry's a consultant, so Beverly, you work for AC Transit?
I do, and let me just say that we've been working closely with Terry. He's able to, we meet constantly about what's going on, and we're back in the office trying to figure out how to address things. So he's our right hand.
Mr. Wilkins works for AC Transit, you're an engineer, is that what you do? Could you say your title for us?
I'm the program director, Andy.
Program director, thank you. Clarence Johnson.
Yeah, I'm the media affairs man.
Thank you, sir. So just returning to our agenda, I know you've got to leave at 10:30. I'm going to make sure you get time. But I
actually want to ask questions very specifically to follow up on your questions.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
We
sorry.
just have two more quick questions, and then we're going to let you get in. So, BNA, would you, Marius from BNA's Kitchen wanted to ask a question.
Well, AC Transit coordinates a meeting with some of us within the next 3 weeks to come up with solutions to parking, loading, and other concerns, and if yes, how and when.
Well, we met with the Community Outreach Working Group last week. We shared our merchant outreach report, gave a summary. It was decided at that point that we would use that document to identify and create some likely scenarios of impact for similarly situated businesses, and then meet with members of the Community Outreach Working Group to identify possible mitigations. Mr. Nelson asked me if we could have some businesses participate in that exercise. I said, yes, we could. So that's one thing that we are doing. So
So the answer to that question is yes.
within that context, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you. That's good.
Okay. And
Okay.
the next one. And
This
then
is
it will be
actually,
Pam.
let me just, can I just work this?
Sure.
So the other thing we want, so we know that you guys get to 65%, it can be very difficult to backtrack. We know that's coming up the next 2 to 3 months. So what the merchants are actually asking, and it's for them, not for staff of nonprofits, but will you commit to getting the approval of these groups of merchants that you've been meeting with, or that have been meeting, from Fruitvale, San Antonio, and Eastlake? Will you commit to getting the approval of the plan that you come up with to minimize the harm to businesses before the 65% design phase is done, even if it means changing the project timeline?
As I said earlier, we are committed to working with you to develop mitigations. And when we do that, we will present that business impact mitigation plan as a condition of approval to the City of Oakland. So what we have an opportunity to do now, in these next 2 to 3 months, is work very closely together to identify those mitigations and look at those scenarios and make sure we have as complete and comprehensive business impact mitigation plan that we can. So we are committed to working with you to inform that plan.
So one follow-up. So if you don't come up with a plan that the merchants that you've been meeting with agree with, you're still going ahead to City Council, just to be clear.
Are you going to proceed?
We will be developing a plan that we will present to the City Council.
So does it matter? Okay.
No, well, I didn't. No, let me be clear. I didn't say it didn't matter. What I said was, if we are working with you to develop a plan with your input and your suggestions that reflect your concerns, that we will have a better business impact mitigation plan as a result, and we will take that to the City Council.
So that means, in other words, my question is, unless we sit down, and agree with what you come up with, then you will submit those plans, or without our approval, you still go ahead and submit the plan?
We
to
have
the
an
council?
obligation to submit the plan to the City of Oakland. We will do that.
So in other words, doesn't matter?
No,
So
well,
now it comes
no, no,
but
that's not what he
please, let
said.
me just be,
Okay.
thank you. But let me again say this. So we are here this morning
Okay.
because we have worked with Evasian